The Himalayas, a place of profound silence and extreme unforgiving elements. Here, the line of control divides India and Pakistan. Spring arrived. Batalik sector, May 1999. A local shepherd reported strange activities on the high peaks. Indian army patrols were sent to investigate. But under the cover of winter, a covert betrayal was unfolding. Pakistani soldiers had infiltrated across the line of control, occupying abandoned Indian posts on the high peak. High on the ridges, the enemy lay in wait. Captain Saurabh Kalia and his patrol were ambushed. Outgunned and surrounded, they fought to the end. India realized the scale of the intrusion. Enemy forces sat on top, threatening the vital highway. Operation Vijay was launched. Soldiers began impossible ascent. To support the ground assault, the Air Force launched Operation Safed Sagar. It was the first time air power was used at these extreme altitudes. Precision strikes began turning the tide. On the ground, the Bofors barrage began. These guns devastated enemy bunkers perched on the rocky crests. Under this cover, infantry began their agonizing ascent. Tololing Peak stood isolated, grim, and impenetrable. Reclaiming this dominant height was a matter of life and death. After weeks of bloody combat, Indian soldiers...
Initial reports suggested a minor infiltration by a handful of insurgents. The reality was far more sinister. Patrols were sent into the freezing wilderness to investigate. Among them was Captain Saurabh Kalia and his 5 men. Tragically, his patrol was ambushed by heavily armed infiltrators commanding the heights. The capture and brutal torture of Captain Kalia's patrol shook the nation. This was not a minor skirmish. This was war. The Indian military soon realized the massive scale of the intrusion. Intruders had occupied peaks up to 18,000 feet. They had a commanding view of National Highway 1A, the vital lifeline connecting Srinagar to Leh. If the highway was severed, the entire Siachen Glacier and Ladakh region could be cut off. India had to act fast. In response, the Indian Army launched Operation Vijay. Nearly 200,000 Indian troops were mobilized. But the tactical advantage lay entirely with the enemy. They were sitting on top. The Indian soldiers had to climb straight up, assaulting heavily fortified peaks with a gradient of 80 degrees, carrying 30 kilos of gear in sub-zero temperatures. Carrying 30 kilos of gear, launched Operation Safed Sagar on May 26th. It was the first time in history that air power was used at such extreme altitudes, pushing the jets to their absolute limits. The airstrikes relentlessly pounded enemy bunkers, dropping laser-guided bombs with pinpoint accuracy. But the skies were fraught with danger. The enemy was equipped with shoulder-fired Stinger missiles. India lost 2 fighter jets. Squadron leader Ajay Ahuja was martyred, and Flight Lieutenant Nachiketa was taken prisoner. Despite the losses, the Air Force pressed on, cutting off enemy supply lines and providing crucial cover for the infantry. On the ground, the Indian Army brought in the formidable 155mm Bofors howitzers to shatter the enemy's defenses. Firing in direct fire mode, these guns devastated the bunkers perched on the rocky crests. The artillery barrages lit up the night sky, creating a terrifying symphony of destruction in the mountains. Under the cover of this relentless artillery fire, the infantry began their agonizing ascents in the pitch dark. Every inch of ground was contested. The rocks were sharp, the cold was paralyzing, and the enemy fire was incessant. The first major turning point came in mid-June. The target? The heavily fortified peak of Tololing. the first major turning dominant feature overlooking the highway. The target, claiming it, was a matter of life and death. For 3 weeks, the Rajputana Rifles and Grenadiers fought a grueling, bloody battle, meter by meter.
The final assault was launched at midnight. It involved brutal, hand-to-hand combat inside the enemy bunkers. On June 13th, the Indian tricolour was finally planted on Tololing. The tide of the war had begun to turn. The victory at Tololing boosted the morale of the entire nation. It proved that the enemy could be dislodged. The momentum continued. The next objective was Point 5140, the highest point in the Tololing complex.
Leading the assault was a young, fearless officer, Captain Vikram Batra. Batra and his men scaled a sheer rock cliff, surprising the enemy from the rear in a daring night attack. After fierce combat, they captured the peak. Batra radioed his famous success signal.
For his unparalleled bravery, Captain Vikram Batra was awarded the Paramveer Chakra, India's highest military honor. As June bled into July, the focus shifted to the crown jewel of the Dras sector, the imposing Tiger Hill. The assault on Tiger Hill was a massive coordinated effort. Artillery rained down for days, softening the defenses. The Ghatak platoon began scaling the cliff under heavy fire.
I will not stop!
They continued with sheer willpower. Despite taking multiple bullets, Yadav destroyed enemy bunkers with grenades, clearing the path for the victory. Meanwhile, in the Batalik sector, Lieutenant Manoj Kumar Pandey led a furious assault on Khalubar Ridge. Meanwhile, in the Batalik sector, Lieutenant Manoj Pandey By the first week of July, the Indian Army had captured Tiger Hill and most of the strategic peaks. The Pakistani forces were routed, suffering heavy casualties, their supply lines completely choked off. Internationally, Pakistan's deception was exposed. The world condemned their violation of the line of control. US President Bill Clinton summoned Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif to Washington, demanding an immediate withdrawal. Faced with total military defeat on the peaks and immense global pressure, Pakistan announced a withdrawal.
Operation Vijay was highly successful. The Indian armed forces had reclaimed every inch of their sovereign territory. On July 26, 1909, the Kargil War officially came to an end. This day is forever etched in history as Kargil Vijay Diwas.
But victory came at a heavy price. 527 Indian soldiers made the supreme sacrifice, and over 1,300 were wounded. Extraordinary bravery led to the highest gallantry awards being bestowed upon heroes Ram Batra, Rifleman Sanjay Yogendra Singh Yadav, and Lieutenant Manoj Kumar Pandey. At the Kargil War Memorial in Dras, their names are carved in stone, guarded by the very peaks they fought to reclaim. Their stories of unimaginable courage in the face of impossible odds will continue to inspire generations. The mountains are silent once again, but the echoes of their bravery will resonate eternally. Jai Hind.